Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to unpack something pretty familiar, I think, to almost everyone, a first date conversation.
Right. And our source material for this, it's not just any conversation, it's actually a sample dialogue, one specifically designed for English language learners.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it's meant to show common phrases, the kind of flow you might expect in, well, exactly this scenario.
Gotcha. So our mission here is to go a bit deeper than just reading the script aloud.
Mhm.
We're sort of treating this sample like data. I mean, yes, what practical language can we pull out? That's important.
Sure.
But maybe more importantly, what does this simple exchange tell us about how connection actually happens, how rapport gets built? What are the subtle signals being sent?
Exactly. We're looking for that underlying architecture, you could say, the structure of connection hidden in just everyday phrases.
Using this crafted dialogue as our map, basically.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay, so the source sets the scene very clearly. It's a cozy cafe, Saturday afternoon. Straight away, that signals, relaxed, informal.
Definitely. Low pressure.
Yeah.
The very first hurdle, right? That moment of actually meeting. The source uses that standard polite opening.
That bit where you confirm identities, you must be.
Yeah. And the reply, yes, that's me. And then the absolutely essential, nice to meet you too.
It's simple, it works, gets things off the ground without any fuss.
Right. And interestingly, this sample moves immediately to a compliment. One person says, I love your jacket. Very stylish.
And the response is similar, you look great too. It's just a straightforward positive affirmation.
Yeah, it is. Sets a friendly tone immediately.
Mm-hmm. And there's that quick check, showing consideration. I hope you didn't wait long.
Followed by the reassurance, not at all. I just got here.
Mm.
It's polite, shows a bit of empathy.
Okay, so once you're past those first few seconds, you need something to, get the actual conversation started.
And the standard question presented here is, how was your day? Simple opener.
And the answers in the source, they're interesting because they're quite simple, really. A walk in the park, doing some yoga.
And caught up on a book I'm reading.
Right. They aren't dramatic stories, but they are specific activities.
Exactly. Not just a generic fine. They give these little win days into their lives, maybe potential interests.
Okay, so someone likes nature, someone's into wellness.
Someone's a reader, there are little hooks for conversation.
And speaking of hooks, this is where the sample conversation gets, I think, really insightful. That mention of the book, caught up on a book.
It leads to this moment of finding genuine common ground.
Because they name the specific title, Atomic Habits by James Clear.
And the response isn't just, oh yeah, I've heard of it. It's an enthusiastic, yes, I read it too.
That's the aha moment, isn't it?
It is.
But what feels really significant here, and the source includes it deliberately, I think, is the specific detail one person mentions. They bring up identity-based habits.
Mm-hmm.
Why is mentioning that specific concept so much more powerful than just saying, you know the book title?
Well, that is key, I think, to building a deeper connection, moving beyond just the surface.
Okay.
Because, knowing the title,
Yeah.
that could just mean you saw it on a bestseller list or something.
Right.
But mentioning identity-based habits, that signals you didn't just read the words, you actually engaged with the core ideas.
I see.
It suggests a shared interest, maybe not just in reading itself, but perhaps in personal growth or psychology or practical philosophy. It's a subtle signal, kind of like saying, hey, we might think about things on a similar level.
Which goes way beyond just liking the same book.
Way beyond. So it acts as a sort of shortcut.
To finding maybe intellectual compatibility or shared values, yeah.
Precisely. It creates this instant point of deeper connection that can actually discuss.
Yeah.
It helps move past the small talk pretty quickly.
Okay, that makes sense. And from that connection point, the source shows the conversation naturally branching out, exploring other interests, hobbies.
Yeah, you see the common topics emerge. Weekend activities, hiking, trying new restaurants, painting pops up.
Food preferences, too. Italian, Thai, sushi, whether they like spicy food, standard stuff.
And the classic movie and show genres. Thrillers, documentaries, true crime versus sci-fi, and comedy.
They're all pretty standard first date questions, but they serve a purpose here, right?
Oh, absolutely. They provide these pathways to explore potential shared activities outside the date itself.
Right.
And the source demonstrates this really well. Talking about Thai food leads straight to maybe next time we can go to a Thai restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Discussing movie genres prompts. Maybe we can recommend movies to each other. These aren't just random ideas. They grow out of the information being shared.
So it makes suggesting a next time feel less like this big formal proposal
Exactly.
and more like just a natural extension of the chat you're already having and enjoy.
Yeah, it's lower pressure, and it connects future plans directly to the current enjoyment.
Okay. There's also that almost obligatory small talk question. Are you more of a coffee or tea person?
And again, it's the detail that makes it relatable. One person says their cappuccino is my little happiness.
Which is quite sweet.
It is, and the immediate agreement, same here, I can't start my day without it. It's a small thing, but sharing these little daily rituals or preferences, it builds connection.
Through that mutual understanding of everyday life stuff.
Yeah, those little moments of, oh, me too.
Ah.
They add up, they build rapport. You find those little pockets of shared experience.
Right. Eventually, though, even the best conversation has to touch base with reality, like actually ordering drinks.
Mm-hmm. The source shows a smooth transition. Speaking of which, should we order something?
And they list the specific items: cappuccino, blueberry muffin, espresso, chocolate croissant.
It just grounds the sample conversation in the setting. It makes it feel more real.
And even here, there's another little compliment. You have good taste. Just acknowledging the other person's choice of coffee and pastry.
Keeps that positive vibe going. Shows appreciation for their preferences, even on a small scale.
Okay. Now, the source material, helpfully, it points out some specific phrases used in this dialogue that are particularly useful. We've kind of seen them in action, but pulling them out highlights their job.
Yeah, like you must be. Right at the start. It's that polite, slightly formal way to confirm identity when you've arranged to meet someone. Confident, but not, pushy.
Right, not assuming. And caught up on a book, that feels like such a natural way to phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
It implies you were already reading it and finally made time to get back to it, paints a picture of a nice, relaxing afternoon.
It does. And the phrase next time, used in that context, maybe next time we could.
Yeah.
That's great because it just floats the idea of meeting again really casually.
Linking it directly to something you just talked about liking.
Exactly. Much less pressure than asking point blank for a second date right then and there.
And the source highlights a really nice compliment near the end. You're easy to talk to.
Oh, that's a powerful one. Because it directly complements the interaction itself.
Oh.
Not just how someone looks or what their hobbies are. It tells the other person, you helped create a comfortable, enjoyable space for conversation. Which is a massive indicator of compatibility, really.
Definitely. And those other little phrases like sounds peaceful about the walk in the park or good taste about the croissant, same here about the coffee. They seem small, but they're doing work.
They absolutely are. They're like conversational glue. They show you're listening. They offer quick validation or agreement.
Sningles engagement.
Yeah, and creates that feeling of mutual understanding, that rapport, without needing some big, deep response every time. They just keep things flowing smoothly.
The source also mentions a bit about tone and grammar, advising polite question structures. What do you like to do? Or would you like to try?
And the reason these work so well is they're open-ended. They invite the other person to share information freely.
Instead of boxing them into a simple yes or no.
Exactly. So asking, what do you like to do, is much better than, say, do you have hobbies?
Because, do you have hobbies? Could just get a yes or no.
Right. Whereas, what do you like to do, prompts them to actually tell you what they enjoy, opening up that whole avenue for discussion. It shows genuine curiosity about them.
About their world, their experiences. It sort of empowers them to guide the conversation a bit towards things they're happy to share.
Precisely. Makes you seem approachable and genuinely interested.
Okay. And finally, the sample conversation shows us how to kind of wrap things up positively.
Yeah, using phrases that explicitly say, you enjoyed it, this has been really nice, repeating that you're easy to talk to, and confirming the positive feeling, I'm glad we met.
And then signaling that future interest, again, without making it too formal right at that second. Hopefully this is the first of many fun dates.
Met with that simple but clear agreement. I hope so too.
It sums up the good experience and expresses that mutual hope for more, leaving the door open, clearly, positively. So, looking back at this whole deep dive into just one seemingly simple sample conversation, what does it really show us?
Well, I think it shows that building connection, it isn't always about finding these huge, monumental shared life experiences. So much of it is in the subtle language we use in these everyday back and forths.
Yeah, it's in the politeness of just confirming who someone is when you meet.
The warmth of a simple compliment.
The power of sharing one specific detail, like identity-based habits, that signals you really engaged with something.
That natural flow from talking about shared interests to maybe suggesting future activities.
And all that connective tissue, those little phrases like same here or sounds peaceful.
Exactly. Analyzing this dialogue really highlights how even basic language structures, when you use them thoughtfully, can build rapport, signal interest, and basically lay the groundwork for whatever comes next. It's about the how and the why behind the words, not just the words themselves.
Which raises an interesting final thought maybe for you listening. Thinking about those early conversations, those first dates or initial meetings, what unexpected, maybe small, specific detail from your own life could be that particular book you're reading right now? Or your slightly unusual coffee order? Or, I don't know, a funny quirk about how you spent your Saturday? What little thing might actually be the unexpected key?
The thing that unlocks a moment of genuine connection with someone new.
Yeah, something to mull over, perhaps.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.